Hello, my name is Tyler Tipton. I work for Springdale Tractor Company, and we're here to go over the SVL75 high flow with a cap. So the SVL75, it's got a weight of a little over 9,000 pounds. Lift capacity on this is just at the bottom with the breakout force is around 6,000 pounds. And then all the way to the top, which is just over 10 feet, is 2,300 pounds. Now, the hydraulic flow, this is a high flow with a cab. You can get multiple configurations. You get open station, standard flow, high flow, all of it. This is a high flow with a cab. That's 17 gallons per minute on the standard flow, 29 gallons per minute on high flow. So you can run a small mulcher, brush hog cutter, anything like that. This is the biggest machine you could get under that DEF requirement, which is 75 horsepower. Once you get above that 75 horsepower, you start to have DEF fluid. So this is a popular machine, so just because you don't have to worry about that. Now, some of the features that are on the Kubota that you're not going to find on some other brands is, one, the door. This is probably the favorite feature out of anything. Okay, so it gives you a wider opening, and then also it allows you to open that door no matter where the boom is. So if the machine some reason breaks down, or you need to talk to your workers, it's a wet rainy day and it's real muddy, you can keep that door open, or in the event you're mulching and something happens and you need to get out of the machine, you can throw that up and get in and out very easily. So the ease of the use of the door is a big selling point on these. The other selling point is the bolt-on handles. Those always get bent rather than weld on. The bolt-on cylinder guards here, that allows you to take those on and off, because those are things that are just going to get torn up whenever you're using a skid steer. And the other advantage on the Kubota skid steer is the dumping clearance. So whenever you're at your top end of your lift, this curls back into this and gives you maximum amount of dumping clearance. As opposed to hitting back here, it hits all the way up here. The design allows the machine to have a higher dump clearance than some of the other machines that are out there. Now, one spec that's usually not gone over on this machine is the ground clearance. So this has got about a 12-inch ground clearance on this machine, and the reason being is Kubota built this from top to bottom, and this track and powertrain system is designed for this machine. It's not a wheel machine converted over to a track machine. So one of the other differences that is on the SVL75 is the vertical lift design as opposed to radial. On the vertical lift design, what it allows you to do is you can get right up next to a dump truck. You can actually get within 2 inches, and it'll lift straight up in the air without it hitting the dump truck. Okay, and also with that vertical lift design, there's this boom here, and whenever the actual boom is lifting all the way up, it doesn't block your vision, so you're able to still see the side of your tracks and see where you're operating the machine. A radial design is going to have a bracing that comes clear across here, and as you lift the boom, it gets in your way in the visual of your tracks whenever you're operating the machine. Now, other difference that is on the SVL is the track system, right? So the front idler is a double flange as opposed to a single flange. That's where all your weight's going to be. So that keeps him from sliding off the tracks whenever you got it under load. So if you're in the rough conditions, rocky area, and you got a load, it's less likely to tear those tracks up. One, two, to come off the tracks. Now on the back, it's a single flange to allow that track to slide a little bit, to give it a little bit of play, and then you also got a little bit extra clearance here with the tapered off to kind of reduce the amount of mud and gunk that gets stuck up in there to make the longevity of your tracks last longer. Another thing I like about Kubota is the way they make these easy to maintain yourself. They understand in the construction world, you don't have a whole lot of time to haul that thing back and forth to the dealership, and you need to maintain that machine yourself. So they make it real easy to be able to maintain it and get to the filters and the battery and whatnot. Now, up on the top here, it shows you your service intervals, your grease points and things of that nature, but you have that in your owner's manual as well. But just as a quick guide, it's up there. But everything is easily accessible. There's 3 bolts, 1, 2, and 3, that slides and tilts out where you can get to your oil filter, your fuel filter, your air intake, which is the best thing to do for your machine, is keep that clean and blow it out every single day, and your machine will perform much better. And then the battery is really easily accessible. 9 times out of 10 somebody's going to leave the key on, that battery's going to die, or another piece of equipment that you got out on the job site dies. You're going to be able to jump it off real easy. Now, the only thing that's underneath the cab is the hydraulic filter, but what's nice about it is you're able to get underneath the cab very easily. There's 2 bolts right here on the front that you take out, and the whole cab lifts up, and all your hydraulic lines and your hydraulic filter is down there in your belly pan. So if you're doing some land clearing or getting into real dirty areas or muddy areas, you'll want to clean out that belly pan about every 50 hours to make sure your machine's running properly and you don't have any leaks, but very easily accessible to get to. One of the things on the SVL75 is it's a very simple layout and a simple cab. So you're going to have your controls here, pilot controls with multiple functions, so you can operate multiple different implements on this machine. And all your controls are on the side here. If for some reason you have a new operator and forgets how to use this machine, you're able to do that. Now, all of your controls here to unlock the hydraulics, if you're running a brush hog or a mulcher or any implement that requires hydraulics, your auxiliary switch is over here, and then you have your fog lights, and now also your hydraulic unlock to be able to start operating the machine. Now, this one has hydraulic quick couplers, so you can change out your implements real easy, which is the switch that's just right over here. But one of the advantages of our controls as opposed to some of the competitors is these are hydraulic over hydraulic controls as opposed to electronic over hydraulic. Now, the advantage of that is there's wet lines that go straight down to the machine and gives you more breakout force and more control of the machine. And the easiest way to show a customer that, or if you're shopping from dealer to dealer, is turn up the throttle a little bit and shake the bucket. When you shake the bucket, this machine will violently shake the machine. I mean, the whole entire machine is going to shake. So if you got mud stuck in your bucket that you need to get out, it's very easy to do with this machine. And also, you barely move it, this machine's going to start moving. And so with electronic over hydraulic, the advantage of it is you can change the controls up. But Kubota looks at it as once you get used to control, you're not going to keep switching up the controls. They'd rather give you more breakout force and precise control and not have any dead spots in the control as opposed to having that customizable control.